Hey everybody, Brian Von Vier here, and it's that time again. Talking about villains, the scary, icky, goofy, maybe silly type, but the ones that can just turn on a dime and flip out the scariest or best lines ever. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, anyone and everyone in between, what are the scariest or best lines your villains have said, part 3? If you've got one, share it in the comments below. Chill me to the bones. I had a villain that the party had accidentally let out of his magic prison inside of his own book of spells. They tracked down his lair and entered it, where they found thousands of names written on the walls. When they touched one, it showed them the memories of that person from the perspective of the wizard. Each memory precious and beautiful, but ending, and the person dying in his arms, dying to protect him, were sacrificing themselves to keep him alive, as he'd been sustained off of other people's life force for millennia. When they met him, they had dinner with him, and he asked them, "Do you remember everyone you love?" "Yes, of course," said the party. "How about everyone you have killed?" The party did not answer. "Well, I do, and I will always, for otherwise I would be a monster. Something that you so claim you are not." The party was stunned for a time from that one. My players have a telepath named Zhao in their party, who would often psychically set up ambushes with the rogue named Moria. After quite a few adventures, they encounter the big bad evil guy and go for the same strat. Zhao and the party's bard would distract, while the Moria snuck up behind. As Zhao said with telepathy, "All right, Moria, you go up behind her and strike. Then I'll hit her with a..." That's when the big bad evil guy looked Zhao in the eyes and asked out loud, "Who's Moria?" "Yeah, you've just fallen into our trap. Now you're stuck in here with us. Haha, bingo." Yes, that is the general idea. Not the big bad evil guy, but the party was surrounded by an ambush of bullywugs. The party druid attempted to talk with and befriend one of the giant frogs the bullywugs were riding. "Do these bandits care for you?" "Yep." "Oh really? What do they feed you?" "People like you." Oh, I got kind of a goosebump with that one. Mine is simple. Hi. The players thought they had killed her. They even cut off her head to make sure she was dead. Then, an in-game week later, she used sending to tell the PC she had the most backstory with those 2 simple letters. And I got to see a character have a panic attack. And their player, too. My villain, after shrugging off the players' prepared high-level spells with a legendary reaction. "You have made what is commonly known as a mistake." The monk tried to beat the villain to the monologue punch and burst through the doors of the chamber of the big bad evil guy, a tiefling wild magic sorcerer ranger. The monk starts his monologue. "I am Zhao Longfei. I have been tasked with bringing you, Tylin Shiva, to justice by any means necessary. Now I have dedicated my life to balance and peace. However, I accomplished this through the training of the Shaolin monks. Please, don't make me hurt you." The big bad responds with a quick one-liner. "How cute. You think you're a threat?" Then the big bad evil guy blasted the monk in the face with a knife spell, hitting with a max damage crit. The monk rolled a nat 1 on his save. Insta-kill. Needless to say, me and the rest of the party decided on a very tactical retreat. Hey look, it's not a retreat, you're just making an offense in the other direction. "I have Bahamut on my side."
"You'll need him."
I have a major demon who I've been subtly manipulating my players into believing is the big bad evil guy throughout our year-long campaign. He is not the big bad. He's the big bad's head general and most trusted advisor. When the players eventually get around to destroying him, his last line, right as he takes his final breath, breathing heavily with the effort to live a little longer, and with a smile on his face, will be, "My master sends his regards." they won't even know that the big bad evil guy exists until that point. I feel like having the villain say something that sounds like a compliment at first, but quickly turns out to be an insult is way better to invoke a stronger reaction than a straight up insult. I'll have to admit, you are a special bunch. Most mortals desperately cling to life and want above all to be meaningful, and yet here you are, just yearning for a meaningless death at my hands. My DM had some rat folk and an ogre charging a troll to cross the bridge. We tried to get him to step aside. Our psychic warrior tried to psych him out, asked him if he was ready to die for a toll. His reply,
I've got nothing better to do today.
Everyone lost their shit. Guy went from a thug on a bridge to a badass in 7 words. We managed to take him alive and recruit him. He's now in charge of the town guard in the town we're starting. I actually really like that. I was born a slave, grew up a thief. The drow in pirate's clothes scoffs, became the butler of my father's murderers. He spits blood on the floor of the ship, turned temple and steps on it. His followers bowing on the deck. Earned titles in the courts of the Underdark. Became a scholar, despite myself. But everything felt stolen. Stolen lives, stolen knowledge, stolen virtues. He pulls out a true hexblade, the entity that gives him power in physical form. It too bows to his will and vision. It wants him to succeed. These people's hearts I conquered. They worship who I am. They turned me into their demigod. These are my victories and mine alone. Today, I will win once more. Witness my ascension. Lesson number 1. Do not fight a demigod in their temple, as it acts like a lair on steroids, even if their temple is a sailing ship. Lesson number 2. Do not fight a demigod during mass worshipping, as they get miracle actions. Oh, God, you're screwed. And lesson 3. Do not fight a deity that wields another deity without a plan. Spoilers. The party did not win that day, and all their gods abandoned them while one drow in pirate's clothes gave them the most loving embrace, the embrace of death. Script guy here, this last one isn't a story, it's a comment thread calling for players to remember to let the DM have their fun at the table too. I thought it'd be a nice thing to include for the end of the video. Alright script guy, what do we got? I saw something recently that said when a DM has his big bad evil guy start to monologue, let him have the moment to finish. It's the DM's way of saying goodbye to his character. I've seen a lot of stories out there where the big bad evil guy goes into the typical "you fools" thing and gets cut off with the party jumping the gun. I say let the DM have that spotlight for as long as he or she needs. They made a villain for you to fight and beat. They put a lot of effort into giving you one hell of a finale. Give them the courtesy to announce their creation and promptly bid it farewell. As a DM, I approve this so much. I have this secret rule at my table that I will pull no BS when players let my villain monologue, and in turn I will not BS them when they do it to my villains. However, if they do interrupt the villain, I'll make sure that the next time one of the players goes on a monologue, I'll cut them off. Then, I'll have them roll a perception check with a high DC, and if they fail, they'll get blasted with a nasty surprise. Yeah, as a DM, players that blindly cut off the DM explaining something or speaking through a character like they're speedrunning a video game are insanely disrespectful. Hey, this narrator agrees, that's why I don't like playing with power gamers on anything. As a storyteller and DM, I approve of this. The monologue acts as a final goodbye for me and the final burst of anger for the people fighting the villain or hero. This was my biggest mistake in my first campaign run by my friend. She had all her lore figured out. Our final boss was an immortal clockwork queen with ridiculous levels of magic. I love that idea. We had a young girl, heir apparent to her woods. The clockwork queen was going to die from forgiveness and compassion. This girl causing her to feel human for the first time since she got her clockwork heart. Cue Orpheus's fireball. She's too dangerous to be left alive. So foolish was I. She's an immortal, transcendent witch. It's literally in the lore. Sarah sighs, rolls out the big guns for the next 3 hours, crushes us. just for the little girl to give her a doll and a hug. This immortal queen could have killed us all easily. The clockwork witch of Keepwood could only be killed with kindness, and we weren't kind, but Sarah was. This is why you respect the DM's creativity and authority. They are creating a beautiful narrative. The good ones want you to enjoy it and succeed. There's no winning in Dungeons & Dragons, save good storytelling, cooperation, and fun. Your comment perfectly outlines how D&D falls apart when either the players or the DM disrespect each other's creativity. As both a DM and a player, I know how annoying it is on both sides. Most recently, I was in a campaign in which the DM railroaded the fuck out of the party, made up rules on the spot to shut down every single thing that we did that he hadn't planned for, took control of our characters, punished us for choosing a different path, and cut us off whenever we tried to roleplay between party members. As a result, for the last few sessions, we basically had a fuck you mentality. And when his NPCs tried to talk, we'd ignore them, cut them off, try to get them killed, etc. Because he never gave the party a moment to talk amongst ourselves. Literally, the one session where we pleaded to just get to know each other's characters, we got a room in a tavern. But he basically said that we woke up in different rooms, and there was another annoying NPC in the main room between us who forced us into conversation. He couldn't stand not being the center of attention, in complete control at all times. The worst part is that I used to DM for him, and he's exactly the same as a player. He wanted to control the narrative, kill random NPCs, change the rules, get all the glory by overpowering his character, and talk over the other players. I no longer play with him, and finally just had to cut him out of my life entirely. Hey, proud of you. No one should have to put up with that. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA here, checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Yes, roll a d20, do it right now, I can hear it clanging, and make sure to ring that bell, okay? Got a nat 20? Good, ring the bell. Got a nat 1? Ring it 3 times, okay? On, off, on. There you go, boom, mwah. And, of course, make sure to leave a comment down below too, about, the scariest or best lines your villain has said, or honestly, as the scriptwriter proved, a little bit of commenting about the concept of letting a villain monologue. I like that. I like it when all of you share your thoughts and opinions, so please do so in the comments below. And of course, if you want to say hi to me, Brian Von VA, the narrator, your lovely favorite man from Ohio, please do so by checking the link in the description for my website. You can find me on Twitch primarily as well, which is down in the way bottom of my website, where I stream and I basically talk to everybody that comes in as much as I can. And I just want to end things on one little, I guess, a realistic view that counters everything that's been said here, or not so much counters, but continues it. Yeah, continues it. I used to DM a lot back when I was younger, not for D&D or anything, but for the people that I played with, they were all very power gamey in mentality. They wanted to murder, death, kill everything they saw. And as a guy who likes to write stories, it broke my heart, because I would come up with these really intricate scenarios, really crafty characters, all for their entertainment. And then they would complain when somebody who was basically a level 1 tried to tackle a god. And when the god spared them and slapped them down and said, okay, I'm going to talk again, behave, they just kept piling on them and expecting me not to kill them at one point. And it sucked, because when you're a DM and you have to push the big red kill a player button, it makes things sad. It makes you as a DM feel bad because you're not wanting to do that. We want you to have fun. And as a storyteller, there's really nothing more rewarding than to see all of you, boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, everyone and everyone in between, smile or cry or just feel the most emotion ever, because that's what we love. We love that about life. We want everyone to have a good time. Sometimes good times are sad, yeah, but still, we want everybody to feel awesome, feel like they're the hero or heroine of their party. And we give everybody the limelight as best we can. So I'm grateful to all those out there who do let us have that and who use common sense when in a video game or in a game in general. So I love you all. Please continue to be the best selves that you can be, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.